on basically something psychological, how you can avoid unnecessary loss when you are at another block or a POI, perhaps, if you are not sure. So this video probably covers a little bit of how I approach my trade daily. So this helps me avoid unnecessary loss in the market. Prior to all we know, we won't be doing much. We just want to understand how losses can be cut short in the forex market. As we all know, losses are inevitable. See after me, inevitable. So yeah, losses can be inevitable. We just want to know how to avoid unnecessary losses. Obviously, what we tend to look out for is establishing market buyers. That is what I always teach: establishing market buyers. So if you come into this market, arguably some people might have called this probably a break of structure. I don't know. Some people might have called this a break of structure. Now, how can this loss? Probably you should have been looking at this other block. Are you with me? So yes, I'm very sure a lot of people would have placed this limit, yes, just somewhere here, and protecting this high, and boom, they got ripped. Why? Because they were not taught on how to approach POIs. Actually, they were only taught about POIs, and they were not taught on how to cut and minimize POI. So this brings me to the issues of confirmation entry. So how would I put it? Confirmation entry doesn't just mean you are second guessing. It only helps you do what? It helps you avoid unnecessary loss. That is what I call it. I call it unnecessary loss. It helps you avoid unnecessary loss. So admin, or perhaps if this person was well enlightened, if this POI was marked out, all we do is just wait for price to get in here, and we only wait for confirmation. That is, we wait for price to show intent to break towards the lower side of the market. I don't think you quite understand that. A minute though. Sorry about that. Just a minute. Yeah, should be here. Yeah, exactly. So as price runs up inside of this zone, just right here, we should, or the only way to confirm this particular zone is to wait and see intent. We want to see price break down as so, just like this. That is giving us multiple confirmations before we can say, yeah, this zone is okay to start taking full trades towards the downside. I don't think you get that or understand that. That is, instead of placing just a direct limit, just because we identify this is an order block, very correct, sorry about that, this is an order block, very correct, yes, this is liquidity sitting in front of it. All of these things make this a very, very valid zone to sell from. However, we are not babies. We understand that these people controlling this market, the market makers, don't want us to make money. And you can see, even though this gives us proper sorry about that, it gives us proper proper confirmation. This price just relatively tapped into it and sold a little bit. However, if we were patient enough to wait for confirmation to see intent of price to go to the downside, then we should have just definitely gotten on into any of these zones and have our trade run towards virtual TPs. Now, the act of confirmation is just going into the lower time frame, that is going to the least or lower time frame. Necessarily, I do my confirmation on the 3 minute or on the 1 minute. Once you have identified your particular zone, once you identify your zone, I want you to go lower. Let's see how this loss would have been minimized. So yes, if you went to that zone, we just look, we wait for price to break down the same way. We want to see double to triple break of structures. If I don't see it, I'm not taking the trade, because there is no intent and there is nothing for me to do. So the last low, or the last high, according to the 1 minute that was printed, was this high. This was the last high, which was what? Oh, just sorry, let me use my brush. I think my brush is better. So you just follow up. So this was the last break of structure printed before price approached that zone. So immediately price tapped into this zone. This was the break of structure happened. So where was our protected low? In this region. Obviously this was our protected low. Now price never broke structure here, because it actually broke with a wick, and I don't want to see a wick. A wick means fake break of structure. A wick just means fake break of structure. That is, this side becomes automatic inducements. If you don't understand what I'm saying, check the previous video before. This automatically becomes inducements. Now immediately price does this, does not break any high. So now, honestly, in this zone there is no intent, there is no clear direction. Price broke structure, breaks structure, doesn't even want to break structure. However, I'm expecting a sell from this zone. That is, immediately price comes into these zones, I should start wanting to see breakdowns. If exactly price wants to, break down towards the downside, I should begin to see breakdowns inside of these zones. I want to see breakdowns. So if I don't see breakdowns, there is no reason for me to take this trade. Now if this low, this was our protected low, if I never see it if this low never gets raided, there is nothing for me to do. Nothing. I will just sit out and wait. I will sit out and wait. There is absolutely nothing for me to do. Price does this, there is nothing. Now the only reason to take this trade is price breaks this structure, clear. We have a good intent to start going short. We have very good intent to start looking at this as another block, expecting price to trade into it, and expect price to deliver to our TP. So with this in mind, you just go to the lower time frame, confirm the zone with multiple break of structure on the much lower time frame, and if price does not break structure, definitely the zone does not want to hold. Now immediately price raided this high. What does that become? That becomes a break of structure already, and you see this loss would have been unnecessarily avoided. So it's just a way, or it's just my teaching on how to avoid unnecessary loss. Once you identify a POI, go into it on the much lower time frame, such as the 3 minutes, the 5 minutes, the 1 minute. 1 minute is very okay. Go into the 1 minute, look for multiple break of structures to the downside, and this gives us confirmation. This gives me it gives me strength, it gives me more reason why I want to take a trade. It gives me confidence on a trade. Now let's identify a proper order block. Let's assume we were bullish. So if we assume we were bullish, making this, let's assume we're on the much lower time frame, seeing this as a break of structure, right? If you see this as a break of structure, where is our obvious order block? Our obvious order block is definitely around this region. This is it, just right here. Yeah, that is our obvious order block. Exactly. So we continue to see breaks to the upside. Yeah. So what should we have done? If we had actually looked at this order block as at this time, we should see that even if we were on the much lower time frame, there is not too much to do. Price just raided it without giving confirmation. Price raided that zone ASAP. It didn't even drop any confirmation or something. Price just just striked through it. Just here. So you see price striked through it. So there was just nothing to do on the much lower time frame. So we're waiting for a much lower order block. So immediately price strikes through it. I don't care about what price is printing, because price has violated where I am willing to trade off from. Price has violated where I am willing to trade off from, and definitely this loss would have been avoided, because there was just nothing to do in this zone. The same way, if I have this zone alighted, if I had this zone alighted, although price didn't trade into it, no problem. If price didn't trade into it, it is better to miss a trade than to have a loss. It is better, very much better, to lose a trade than to have a loss. Now let's look for another case scenario. Yes, this was an obvious break of structure. You agree with me? Yes. And this is definitely a POI everybody will want to trade off from. So yes, immediately price approach, instead of setting limits blindly, just go to your much lower time frame and check up, or just observe how price delivered in that zone. So if we can see, price came deeply into it. This is the zone right here. Price came into it, and where was the last? Was still within the zone. This was the last break of structure, right? So let's see how this would have been avoided if we had break of structure. Thank you. We just kept on having break of structure. Sorry, we kept on having break of structures to the downside. So that is, there is nothing much to do. Break of structure, break of structure, break of structure, break of structure, nothing to do. Now the first break of structure we have to the upside shows us intent already, shows us that yes, this market is ready to start going bullish. Now second break of structure, confirm, and honestly speaking, because of this second break of structure, it is very valid for you to what, sell stop this point, because immediately price came here. Price can either do two things. Is either price comes back to run into profit, perhaps protecting your overall low. Is either price comes back to run into profit, or price does two things. So either ways, your buy stop would have been set here and you'd have just entered this trade, because you know price can either do two things. It has given you a break of structure 1 already on your much lower time frame, break of structure 2 already. So if price comes back on this pullback, I'm sell stopping this high, because I know price intent is to raid it and move. Now even if our sell stop was not, sorry, our buy stop was never activated here, price would have just done the other thing, which is what, just raid it inside of here, or probably place your limits somewhere here, because some people would have obviously placed a limit just here, and yes, this trade would have gone in a very good way. So you really need to understand how to avoid cut your losses short. Yes, you have bad days, you have good days, but you need to understand how to cut your losses. And if you understand how to cut your losses, trust me, trading will become much easier to you, because there's some losses I see people take which is unnecessary. Honestly, it is really unnecessary. Only if you could wait for confirmation, only if you could wait for confirmation. If you could wait for confirmation, definitely losses will truly be minimum. Losses will truly be minimum. Let's hop up to a random pair. Let's see if there was anything we could have avoided for hours wise. Let's see a clear thing. Establish a bias. Yeah, obviously yes, we're in a sell right here. So this is a break of structure. So yes, immediately after this break of structure, everyone is looking at probably this other block. Well, price never taps into it. Market just being market. Price never taps into this other block. We have no problem. Let's just look at the thing that happened before it. So let's see. Yes, this was a break of structure right here. Yes, this was so I just want you to understand. So this structure right here, yes, was a break of structure with this other block put into place. So if we were to go into a much lower time frame as price and just observe and watch how price really approach that zone, we'll see if sorry, I can't go back that far. Let's see about the 5 minute, if we would see confirmation on probably the 5 minutes. Let's see. No, we can't still see it on the 5 minutes, so let's use the 15 minutes. Yeah, so yes, this is that zone. So as price tapped into that zone probably on the 15 minutes, yes, the last break into that, sorry, as price came back on the 15 minutes, yes, This is the 15 minutes where price approached that zone. Now the last break of structure on that zone occurred here exactly. So this was a protected low for it. So we had this first break, making a break of structure 1. Now price pulled back into it, gave a second break. That is to tell you this is second break 2. That is to tell you we can either choose to sell stop this low, or we just choose our order block, because yeah, this is break of structure 1, break of structure 2. So what do? Look for a valid order block within the zone and trade off from it. Price has shown us intent that it wants to go lower by giving us multiple break of structure to the downside already after we have this POI. So this alone gives me more confidence that price is now willing to utilize whatever order block is here, and you would have taken a very, very nice and jiggy trade off of this zone with confidence and with a bold heart, because you have seen intent of the market. You have seen the market has shown you what it wants to do. So it's either you take off this entry just right here and maybe probably deliver to the much higher time frame buyers like this, which obviously hit our TP, or if you are not so sure, you can just choose to sell stop that particular low, making the space your high, and you have the same target. Now can you see how my confidence increases? Like I'm able to place the kind of big lots you all see out there. On if you're on the VIP channel, you should see the lots. You all see how we confidently place big and huge lots, just because of what? We have confidence in this trade. We are not guessing it. We understand the market. We understand the intent of the market. We are not guessing, so you understand. So I want you all to watch this video, how to identify, or sorry, how to avoid unnecessary loss, so you guys won't stop making mistakes out there and stop blowing account. I want you all to understand that losses can be cut short if you can just wait for confirmation, wait for price to tell you I want to sell, wait for price to tell you I want to buy. So your confidence rate not only increases your confidence rate, it actually keeps you psychologically jiggy in the game. So I want you all to backtest it, study it, make confirmation entry your friend. Make confirmation entry your friend, because confirmation entry helps you avoid unnecessary loss. I'll keep on saying it is highlighted, unnecessary loss. So that is all I have for you. Stay profitable, keep on watching Signal Spark YouTube channel. Lots of educational content coming in. Thank you guys, and bye.